bulk rag. I'm going to dip it in some stripper real quick, some bore cleaner, and I'm going to get it down in there. I'm going to swab it around a little bit, and I want to get some of that bulk excess up first, and I want to saturate the material. Now, I'm still in my dollar store before I take off. I know there's a list, and I got the cotton swabs. They were $300 or $500 or $1,000 for $1. Now, the next thing I need is a toothbrush. In fact, I need lots of toothbrushes. I'm going to wear these toothbrushes out, and I don't need metal. I need plastic, and I need lots of it. What's really neat is this, guys. When you go to the dollar store, you get the junky knockoffs of the really fancy toothbrushes with the different pitches to the heads. Have you noticed that? So they can get the back teeth way back there in the back, or brush the top of your mouth or whatever. Yeah. Well, guess what? Those are the exact kind of brush you need to get up inside that receiver of that AR-15 or back into the back wall of that AK-47 up around that chain. Oh, look at that. Wow, you can do all the cleaning, and you don't have to worry about bending the toothbrush or working your hand in a weird way. Now, that still doesn't mean you don't take advantage of those 20 for $1 toothbrush boxes that are there, or 12 or 10, whatever it is. You grab a bunch of the straight brushes because you got all kinds of places to clean on your weapon. Now, on top of that, there are a few other things that might be kind of handy. One of them is inexpensive detergents or unscented soaps that are liquid. Now, why would I need those? On occasion, in fact, in the field, you're going to be using corrosive ammunition. Now, the basic rule, if you haven't dealt with black powder weapons, is, if at all possible, when you use a black powder weapon, don't you try to soap it and detergent it out first to get rid of most of the residue and the corrosive element of the powder?
Oh, yeah.
Now, it works the same with your semi-automatic weapon, people. You can do the same thing. However, you got to remember, you got to be able to dry it out, and once you've scrubbed it, and then you strip it with your bore cleaner, you must always replace the oils that you have extracted from the metal.
Now we're over into the bore, you guys, and we've pointed this out before. And the difference between, like, shooting 22s, you might find 22s that are copper or brass wash, but you hardly ever find a 22 bullet that is truly like a jacketed bullet, unless you get some exotic, like a hollow point or something. But most of your 22s are going to be lead, and we've talked about sending lead down the bore of particular guns. Eventually it'll lead to failure. So there are guns out there that need a jacketed bullet. If you're shooting a jacketed bullet, you guys, guess what you're leaving in the bore? You're leaving copper in the bore, aren't you? Now, you can clean let's do it like this. What cleans out the carbon doesn't clean out the copper. You know what I mean? So, you need a copper cutter. Something that's going to, there are numerous products out there for removing copper. If you haven't done this to your gun before, I would encourage you to clean your gun until the rags come clean, and then put a little oil in the bore and set it down. If you can go back the next day and clean it again, you'll be amazed how much more green comes out. And again, this is a matter of if you want an accurate gun, you have to clean it from its nose to its toes, don't you, Mark?
That's right, and we want to make sure that, again, when we're done, what happens is we tested to failure. We tested with a dirty weapon to see where the problems are, and we can see where the buildup is. We do this with every one of the weapons that we get that's new or that's a new design. We'll actually have more than one of them in service, and different militia units test intentionally so that we have an evaluative process. Now, the high points, what we did is we tested them up to the thousands of rounds. Not an exaggeration, people. We actually used the 9mm high points up to about 3,000 rounds without any cleaning at all. And it wasn't until about the 4,000 round mark that we saw, and this is with no cleaning. We're talking shooting it and abusing it. About 4,000 rounds before we saw any slowdown in, for instance, extraction or in feed. Sometimes a little bit of a feed stick. Sometimes a little bit of an extraction issue, only because, again, the other factor is what kind of ammo are you using. If you're using foreign military ball, you don't know what kind of powder they've been using. Yep. You can guess, but, it's like, it performs as NATO or it performs as Warsaw Pact, but, other than that, guys, I'm sorry, you can't be sure what they had for powder, because no army, no military throws anything away. They will use it until there ain't none left, and then switch over to the new powder they were supposed to use. That's how it works. Even the U.S. did the same thing. That's why there's a lot of iffy periods from 1945 to 1955, where inventories continued to be used because of the massive World War II buildup. Stuff that was in the arsenals was not thrown away. Instead, they prioritized it for use. They looked down the sheets and, Don, we got about a million of these mercuric primers here, dated 1939. Now, we better use them.
Yeah, we'll see if 10 of them go bang, and then we'll either condemn the lot or use the rest.
That's right. That's exactly what happened, guys. That's why you'll see all these exotic cases show up again in Korea. It's not that they were exotic. It's that they were test bed cartridges, or they were test bed, cases of types or bullet types, and they're marked accordingly from the U.S. arsenals. But it's also a case in point that there is a iffy period for about 10 years where some corrosive primers were still being used and other powders were being used simply because there was vast quantities of them still in strategic reserve, and they wanted to use them up and keep the newer powders and cycle them into the reserve so that they would have those for wartime. Okay? The same is true overseas. So that's another issue when it comes to